So welcome everybody. Today is going to be 5 Fact Friday show. So I thought I would try this out kind of as like a little, a little revamp of my original 5 Fact Friday. I had a live stream last week, right? It was last week. If you haven't checked that out, I feel like it was something that I wanted to do for a while, wasn't sure about it, and then just went for it. But I feel like a lot of the commentary in that live stream, or a lot of the interest in the live streams across the platform, are the ability to communicate with me. So I wanted to create a live show where it's kind of like my original live stream formats where I'm talking to you guys about like maybe some topics, but also I have the chat window open so I can see you guys and interact with what you're saying. So I kind of thought in like the vein of 5 Fact Friday, I would go to Twitter and start with a question that was submitted to me, but also in the vein of like podcasts and things like that. And you guys do request a podcast a lot, which is something like I talk about with friends and dream about, but I think starting a podcast would be really cool. But I think the thing I like about podcasts are the ones I can watch. Like I watch Jenna and Julian's podcast. I watch H3H3's podcast. Their podcasts I can watch. So I thought in the vein of doing something I'm interested in and still doing something I wish I could or want to do, I would do 5 Fact Friday show. So 5 Fact Friday show, like I said, I'll jump in with questions. I'll be looking at the chat, so interactive. And I also took some notes on some like stories I want to cover. Because I just wish I was a newscaster. Why would you know that? Also, I will be doing a giveaway. Not to be like super YouTube cheesy, but I don't know. I'll watch some YouTubers who do giveaways very often. And you can tell at this point their audience is established. They're just doing giveaways. And I go to my P.O. box enough. I should just like every time I do maybe one of these Friday shows, make a little package for one of you guys and send it out. So while we're waiting for more people to get here, this giveaway, you just have to be subscribed to me and, leave a like. So subscribe. I tried to make like a raffle copter giveaway thing, so you could subscribe to me and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter for more entries, but it just became 10:30, so I was like, you know what, but while I work out the kinks and see if there's even any interest in this show. So this is a Qcknd pin pack. It comes with 2 Qcknd stickers, a Qcknd pin, which I do not make available, but I'm working on that, and then this is the Bronco pin with the smashed out back window from that time we got robbed. So subscribe, leave a like, and if you don't have YouTube messengers open, leave a comment with the way that is the easiest to get in touch with you. Even if you have a Twitter but you're not active on it, at least I can message you on Twitter or leave a comment on your Instagram. Or if you have videos on your YouTube, I could leave a comment on your YouTube. I held a giveaway on one of my live streams a couple months ago, and I had messaged the person who won on YouTube Messenger, and it's a dead messaging service, so let's not do that again. That's the giveaway. I'll remind you guys later, but just make sure you're subscribed. The other day I had a pretty big subscriber drop, and I know I shouldn't be wrapped up in these numbers. Don't worry, girl. But it kind of reigns back to when I would post and then lose subscribers, and then anyone would tell you oh, you lost subscribers because you said something people didn't like. So I'm just making sure nobody got unsubscribed, because I still do get messages like that. The giveaway is everywhere. Anyone can enter. I did have trouble sending something to Russia once, so you might, if you enter from Russia and I message you, it might be with bad news. So I am going to jump into this live stream with a story. So, we live in Philadelphia, and we were at this place to, like, pick up food. And this isn't about to be a story where I, like, name names, because we just can't do that on social media, I feel, without, like, destroying somebody's company, and that's not my intention. So, it was, like, late. I think we were working at John's shop, like, probably on the car, and there's only a couple places open, like, past 10 in Philadelphia, or maybe it was about to be 10. Like, 10 o'clock's pretty late in Pennsylvania. So there's a place that's still open that has a full vegan menu. And we go there. We order to go because we don't want to eat there. It's, like, on a college campus. And we just wanted to go home and crash. Like, sometimes you just want to eat in your sweatpants with no one watching. So we ordered to go, and John, like, they're like, and what's the name for the order? And John's like, Amanda. And then he signs the receipt. So we go to sit down to wait for our food, and the manager comes out. And the manager's like, sir, you're going to need to write your name again so someone can read it, or I can't take this. And John and I were like, what? Like, you ever sign receipts if you pay with, like, your debit card and you just, like, draw a smiley face, or you write Santa, or you draw a dick, like, classically. I know when I sign for packages, I just write whatever. And to be honest, my signature since, I don't know, middle school, when you start to have to sign things, my signature's not actually my name. Is anyone else like that? Like, my, like, real government name is not my signature. It's not Qcknd, but it's not my signature either. I kind of just, like, started to draw, like, a little thing. And it's not like when you were kids and you were playing executive and you were like, yes, sir, this is the executive order. It's just like, anyway, my signature is not my name. I don't know if anybody else, their signature isn't really their name either. Either way, John's signature, I don't think is his name. But, so the guy comes out and he was like, you have to sign this to read it. And it's like a fast food place. So it's like a teenager. And both John and I are sitting there like, this has never, ever happened. Not only have I never used my real name as my signature since, I don't know, legal age, but, okay, so here is my signature. So my signature looks like that. It's got, like, a lot of whips. And, that's just always been it. So the guy comes out and he's like, you have to re-sign this. And then the cashier is behind him like, you almost got me in trouble. And John and I were like, what? So John goes back and re-signs it, like, in just, not even in cursive, in just, like, boop, 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 boop. And yeah, someone in the comments said that you can sign with an X. Like, some people do sign with an X. Some people only sign with their initials. Like, I've worked in fast food and customer service for so many years. I've seen every signature. And at my P.O. box, half the time I sign with a smiley face. Like, just no one has ever, until this moment in our lives. So John resigns and sits down, and he's like, I want a refund. I want to leave. I don't like this. I don't like how this feels. We should get a refund. I should have stood up for myself. This is stupid. No one's ever done this to me before. What do we do? And I was kind of just like whenever anything happens in customer service, I feel really defensive. I worked at McDonald's for 7 years. So whenever we are like at a restaurant and our food takes long, or our order's wrong, or we're double charged, like anything, I'm always like, well, John, that's a really hard job. So like, I think that you should just consider that. Like, but even then I was like, I don't know why this just happened. And I think if you want to get a refund, you can. But we've already been waiting for 10 minutes. So our food is probably close to being done. But if you need to get a refund, I support you because I feel really weird too. So both him and I are sitting there, like 3 feet from the front counter. And we're both trying to like rationalize this dude's behavior. So I'm like, obviously like he's a 19-year-old manager. I was like, I used to be like that. And, sometimes if you fuck up and your boss just yells at you all day for stuff you can't really control, sometimes when you're offered a control, you're like, this is my chance. Miss, this signature's wrong. This is wrong. So I told that to John. I was like, yeah, maybe the cashier was late to work and isn't going to perform better, but showed his manager this and was like, can I take this? This seems fishy. And the shop manager was probably like, you know what? I don't want to get in trouble. So we didn't get a refund, but it was so weird. It's the very first time, I'll speak for John, that like I have ever had to redo my signature at like a shitty fucking college spot, open till 10 o'clock fast food bullshit place, which I've seen mice in. But it's like, if you take a picture and put that on social media, everybody who works there loses their job too. I don't know. And if you like burn bridges with the place that you still eat at, then what the fuck? There's one place in Philly that like super did me wrong. I won't eat there anymore. I won't recommend it to anyone. When people ask me about it, I'm just like, nah, I don't eat there. I'm not like, they fed me glass. But there's only one place in Philly that did me so dirty I don't go back. This place with the receipt signature, I might go back, They have food that other places don't have, so like my scope is like very narrowed, but I wanted to talk about that because I thought it was really weird. Okay, I'm just reading in the chat here. Someone asked, where's Tattoo Talk Tuesday? So this Sunday, I'll actually be filming Tattoo Talk Tuesday. I'm kind of on a new schedule where I just film maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. Not saying 2 videos because I don't want to promise 2 videos. I'm definitely like trying to take care of my real life and put a lot more focus on the life I live physically versus digitally. And yeah, just like doing chores and doing things I like and stuff like that. And I also do work part-time at a salon. So stuff like that, like working on my relationship and working on myself. So just like making 3 videos a week was too hard. And even like at least like filming this live was a little bit better because I was like, I really do like making 5 Fact Friday. So this being live and still being able to like talk about things, that way I'm not like posting about them on Twitter. If I can like talk about them on Friday show, that'll be dope. So that's where Tattoo Talk Tuesday is. So this Sunday, all across the country, I believe, is doing the Still Not Asking For It flash event. Definitely let me know in the sidebar if you will be attending. Philadelphia is having one at True Hands. If you know True Hands, I've been tattooed there a few times. I have 2 videos that take place in True Hand of like watching the tattoos I received. My Crybaby tattoo is a video from True Hand. True Hand is having Still Not Asking For It tattoo event, and all the proceeds go to a domestic abuse foundation. So I'll be at True Hand, kind of like interviewing and stuff. I think that'll be pretty dope. I asked them about it and they're like welcoming me there versus like my Friday the 13th tattoo video where I showed up with like a camera and I was like, is this cool? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, can I ask you some questions? And they were like, maybe. So this will be cool. Talked to some girls in my salon. Some people have shown interest for going to get the tattoo, but everyone I talked to, it seemed like they had not been to a flash tattoo event because I was like, oh, we should get there really early. And they were like, no, I'm not going to do that. So Still Not Asking For It is a tattoo event where tattoo shops across the country offer flash sheets, and all of the money that they get from tattooing off of the flash sheets, all of it goes to it goes to charity. It goes to like a domestic abuse charity. I have a tattoo from Still Not Asking For It flash event the first year they had it. Right there. Since then, the flash sheets have kind of evolved, and you could get like a little knick-knack tattoo, and I haven't seen, like, Katie Collins has a pretty large tattoo on her flash sheet as well. Let me catch my breath. Yes, the acorn tattoo. So I'll be there Sunday if you are going to the Philadelphia event and want to be interviewed by me or have some words. I'm still figuring out like my script, like what I want to ask the tattoo artist, what I want to ask maybe people in line. So if you'll be there Sunday, definitely drop a line or like just say what's up to me. I'll be popping around with my big boy camera, trying to get some footage and just talk to people. Ashley Love is the creator of the event, so you can head over to her Instagram for more info. But that's going to be the next episode of Tattoo Talk Tuesday. I don't know if I'll be able to have it by Tuesday. I'm hoping I will. One of the new things I'm trying out for my channel is filming on one day and then editing the next day. I feel like that kind of helps me with a little more clarity. Before I used to shoot and edit in the same day. So I would be locked in this room for just 10 hours. And if John came home, I'd be like, stop talking to me. Do all the work in our relationship. So on here, my next notes say Facebook to keep you agitated. So all of this stuff came out with Facebook in the last, I believe, 24 hours, that more than 14 million people had their private posts made public without them knowing due to like a bug. This all, and Facebook had been selling more of people's information online to different companies across the world. I think one of the bigger companies that everything was, like the information was sold to was in China. Trying to find all of the information, like I wanted to give you like facts on facts. So much stuff, so much controversy happens with Facebook every day that the news cycle is like, because I was like, wait, I swear it happened like 3 days ago. And it was like, well, this scandal with Facebook just happened now. So, I'll be saying this a little paraphrasing because I did want to find like facts. So, one of the people from Facebook came out to speak out about Facebook's algorithms. So, if you caught my live stream from last week, I was talking about social media and how the algorithms keep us engaged. And with Facebook, it's the same thing. They made $49 billion last year just on advertising. And if you're someone who never clicks the links, the way that you are engaged is that you are on the website. And the longer you spend on the website, the more you are exposed to advertising. So you're exposed to advertising, you're scrolling, and you're engaged, and you stay on the app or the website. So they said that one of the things that Facebook does to keep you on the website so you'll be exposed to more ads is that they go on human instinct that makes us naturally defend ourselves and feel good when we win arguments. So I know that sounds kind of like, yeah, that's basic human nature, but it's the same thing as like Twitter almost too, and I would arguably say on YouTube comment section, where it's human instinct to feel really good to like defend your point and then argue with somebody. And Facebook is aware of the fact that people use it to like get in arguments, and they use that to keep you engaged on the website longer. So Facebook is fully aware of like all of the agitators that are placed on Facebook, and they use it to their advantage to keep people on their website. So after I found that out, I deleted my Facebook my first year of college. So I haven't had Facebook for 8 or 9 years, which is chill for me. John isn't on Facebook. And I think that it's just like really upsetting for the people who need to be on Facebook and stuff like that, that Facebook clearly has been manipulating you. And I feel like the people who have talked out about this for the last few years, people have been like, oh, are you the grandpa yelling at the cloud? Those damn kids and their robot website machines. And I felt that way too. Every time someone had something bad to say about social media, I was like, hey, that's where my friends are. You better take that back. And now I'm like, God, I feel hollow inside. So it's kind of cool. So I wanted to bring that up to talk about more openly about the effects of social media, because if you didn't hear it, I heard it, but imagine like the things I don't hear about it. And if you heard it from somebody who's seen skeptical, I mean, I might be coming off as skeptical as well, but I did want to tell you that like things on Facebook, the things you think might be shitty, the guys behind Facebook know that. And they use it to manipulate you to keep you more engaged. So if you are on there like talking about something you believe in, and somebody comes in on there and you're like, how did this person even find this? Facebook is engaging agitators with your content to keep you on there for another hour so you fight with them. And in the meantime, there's just ads on the side. Little ads on the side, keeping Facebook rich as fuck. While, your ego is just like fucking destroyed and your soul is just ripped out of your heart. And now you're like me, who's like, don't talk about anything online that people might feel a type of way about. But now years of being overexposed to this Facebook algorithm that encourages its users to argue has trickled down into other websites. People arguing on Instagram for no fucking reason. People on YouTube arguing with me over a video I present to them organically. And they're like, what? This sucks. And I'm like, shh. Not everything critical helps me. If you don't like a video I didn't make for you, what am I supposed to do? But now understanding that mentality was developed in order to make Facebook rich is just like, I don't know. It's like, oh, this might bring me insight if I am like thinking on a higher level. But then don't you feel bad for the people who have been manipulated by Facebook? Don't you feel bad for the people who keep in touch with their family and over the years have been like molded into something that Facebook has like strategically developed, and now they're all fucked up? Like, I don't have an older sister, but whenever I think of like a Facebook mom, I think of like an older sister who has like maybe 2 kids, and like her husband works during the day and she stays home, and she's on Facebook in her downtime, and it keeps her in touch with everybody. So you call her and you're like, oh, how's Justine from high school? And she's like, let me tell you. And you like love that news, but you don't do Facebook yourself. I think of that older sister being like manipulated by Facebook. That's my... Anybody else think that? So, anyway, that's what's going on with Facebook on my little thing here. So I'm going to read some of the stuff you guys said. I didn't have Facebook for so long, and you're right. One of the reasons I'm back on is one of my employers. It was such a sense of freedom being disconnected online and more connected in the real world. I definitely agree. And I was just talking to John. So we were looking for a junkyard. And the junkyard didn't have a website. They just had a Facebook. And you had to be on Facebook in order to like unlock all the hours and shit for the junkyard's website. And stuff like this has happened before. Like in our previous neighborhood, we tried to join the neighborhood association and we couldn't because we didn't have Facebook. So I made like a burner Facebook and was like, I'm making this Facebook to join the neighborhood association. I live at blah, blah, this address. And they didn't let us in. So you need Facebook in order to like correspond with like businesses, your neighborhood association. Luckily the neighborhood I live now is old school and I'm in like direct connection with the block captain. But in my old neighborhood that was younger, like you had to be in touch on Facebook, which keeps you, it's like trying to help you better in the real world, but it keeps you separated almost because John and I were not allowed to join the neighborhood association. And we only wanted to join it because we had questions about like some of the activities that were going on in our neighborhood that were dangerous. Now I can literally walk to my block captain's door and knock on it and she'll come out and be like, what's up? Do you need another recycle bin? And that's a true story. My block captain actually, I told her the story about how I tried to get my cat neutered and it was just like falling down the stairs. Like everything got fucked up as I went. And I tried to like present that story to her comedically. And she was like, I will drive you places you need to go if you ask me. And I was like, no, like I could have got there. It's just funny. And she was like, funny you didn't ask me for a ride. And I was like, no, like the cat. And she was like, I'm retired, so knock on my door. And I was like, oh, you're right. I should have asked you for a ride, but I feel really bad doing like normal human things. So that's one of the things I feel about Facebook. So if you feel like Facebook can connect you and yet isolate you, I'm right there with you. Like John and I as two people who don't have Facebook, like all the time people ask me like, how do you find out what's going on in your city? And I'm like, I don't. I have no fucking clue. All of these people make all these Facebook events. And I'm just like, who are you making Facebook events? Just let me know somehow. But I'm in the minority as not being on Facebook. So I'll be honest, I love your videos in perspective, but I wasn't a fan of your lookbook video. It's like, you don't have to say it, because I don't know. I know that you feel like you have to say it, and I know that like criticism is open, but I don't know. I feel like I would prefer criticism that was like, you might feel this way about Facebook, but this is how I feel about Facebook, and I'd be like, dope. But criticism is like, you made this work piece, but I didn't like it. And that's like, cool, man. I don't go to KFC and I'm like, what is all this shit? I don't know. I don't know how to describe how that feels. You just don't have to watch it. I can't improve it because I liked it. But I don't know. The whole time I was making the lookbook video, I was like, a YouTuber with a different budget would have done it this way. And then I was like, a YouTuber with like a camera person would have done it this way. And then a YouTuber, you know, who is like a team would have done it this way. And all of that in my head, I'm like, dude, do it your way. So I don't know. The only reason I still have Facebook is because it's linked with my Spotify oh, wait, hold on. I loved your look. Wait. Where did it go? I had it. It was right here. The only reason I have Facebook is it's because it's linked with my Spotify in an effort to transfer all my shit over. I want to delete it so badly. Yeah, Facebook makes all of those things integrated into your life so that Facebook is integrated into your life. I remember the first couple things that started to pop up, like when I still had Facebook in like 2008, I remember Facebook used to have this thing where you can like say what book you were reading. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to like tell people what CD I'm listening to. And then I used to add that to all my posts. And then it was just like, that was the first like vine into it. And then it just like took over your whole life. I used to always feel like a burden asking people for little favors, but honestly, I'm all about doing little favors for other people. I definitely feel the same exact way. I feel like enough people, like, maybe don't ask me for favors in real life because they think I'll say no. And then I don't ask people for favors because I think that I'm going to burden them. So for my, like, block captain to be so blunt, to be like, why didn't you ask me for help? I was like, whoa, now you're upset that I didn't ask you. I thought you would be upset if I asked you. But, you know, a couple years ago, when I was like communal living, we all needed each other and we all benefited and I was happier. And even when I was, like, when I moved back from Texas, I lived with my best friend's sister and I was so involved in her life. And I would do everything with her. Hold on, it looks like we're... Okay. Anybody see me? Sorry about that. I thought that the internet would be better during the day because less people would be on it. Like I said, so when I lived with my best friend's sister, I was so involved in her life that, like, I don't know, everything was just a little better because we, like, functioned as a family and a community. Like, I would drive all of us to the grocery store. She had 3 kids. And then when we would go home and she would make me dinner. And then when her kids were doing homework, I was in college. I was in community college, so I would do my homework. And she just, like, wanted to be involved in it. And I'm thinking about this because I was telling John the other night, like, we had to dye one of his pairs of pants. And I was like, yeah, me and Justine's sister, like, we used to dye all of our clothes. Like, we didn't have a ton of money, but we lived communally and just, like, got things done. And now I just feel like I would not live that way with her. Because I feel a sense of independence. I don't know. Because of my Instagram or something. I don't know. I'm going to scroll up a little in the chat because I kind of missed it when we went offline a little bit. Sorry, I probably look so weird with my, like, reading neck. I deleted my Facebook about 5 years ago, and my new job told me they couldn't find me online. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. Yeah, can you believe that? So think about the jobs that will only hire people with, like, an online presence. And then that online presence obviously has to be favorable to them. So no one who's ever been in a controversy, but on the other hand, like no one who's ever expressed like an opinion that may be received critically. And although like some opinions are obviously dirt, some things deserve to be expressed, especially on your own platform. Like if you are on Facebook or Twitter and you are talking about like, I don't know, veganism or something like that. I know that's such a cop-out, but you should be able to express something that isn't a popular opinion, like worldwide, not an unpopular opinion, like something toxic, like fuck off with that. But you know what I mean. So if you were to go on and like apply for a job and they looked up your first and last name and they found some shit you said, they would be like, that doesn't really like go with our ethics because you have such an online footprint. And I don't want that to be the normal for like job seekers or whatever. Like, yeah, go ahead, use that information, I suppose. They told us 20 years ago not to use our first and last name as our usernames, and here we are today. But I don't know. I don't like that. But I'm definitely not saying delete your Facebook. I'm just saying, like, I think obviously there's a population of people who can use Facebook responsibly, but there's also a population of people who are more sensitive to being manipulated, and Facebook definitely profits off of that manipulation. I read this thing recently where it was this woman, and she said, you know, she's been married to her husband for 14 years, and she's watched him completely change into a different person because he was addicted to Facebook. And I'm reading it as like an asshole. I'm like, dump him, because that's, I don't know, I'm awful. So, but at the same time, after I got over that, I was like, think of that. You married somebody, you built a house with them, 14 years, maybe they have a family, and then just slowly over time, you realize like, my husband is like really on his phone a lot, and like my husband is like really short with me all of a sudden. He's like very agitated. He's getting in arguments with me. My husband's very defensive. My husband is talking about weird political things that don't affect our scope or our local government. Our house is falling apart. My husband's just on Facebook. He doesn't talk about anything else but Facebook. Like, when I was reading that, I was like, damn, like, people who are, like, sensitive to addiction, you know, or things like that, like, are definitely susceptible to being manipulated on Facebook. It's the same thing with, like, I can go into a casino and be like, ew, I don't want to be here. But other people can go into a casino and sit down and, like, 3 days go by. And they're like, fuck, I'm broke. You ever hear of somebody who, like, loses thousands at the casino and you're like, why didn't you just leave when you won? It's like some people are sensitive to being manipulated by certain things. Flashing lights and shit. I went to art school and we were taught an entire section of the class was devoted to how to critique, and we were banned from saying I like or I don't like. I was thinking about this recently. So I was in public speaking, and a part of our public speaking class was critique. But I felt more engaged in that because someone still had to offer up themselves. I would perform a speech, and then the class would critique it to say things that would make my speech better, but in the future, their speech better as well, you know? If someone was like, you didn't speak loud enough, then the person going after me would be like, I better make sure I speak loud enough. Those critiques help people. But if you like blindly, and let's call it critique for the sense of speaking, if you blindly critique me or other YouTubers and you don't make videos and your critique doesn't help me in the future, doesn't that just make you mean? Like, doesn't that just make what you're saying mean-spirited? I take a lot of the critiques where it was like, oh, the audio, like, really fucked me up. I listen on headphones. And then I have to be like, all right, when I edit my video, let me watch it once through with headphones on, because I edit in an empty house, so I don't use headphones. But if I edited in a Starbucks, I would. So if you consume your media with headphones, I should be aware of that. That's a good criticism. A bad criticism is, I like some of your videos, but that one I didn't like. That doesn't help me because I'm like, well, what did you like about those other videos? And what kind of person are you? And what kind of content do you come to my channel to? Like, what do you seek when you go online? And like, how is that supposed to help me? You know? And I'm not trying to bash whoever that was, but that's like something I think about a lot. Like, when I was in public speaking, and I've told this story on this channel a million times, if you ever take public speaking, you get a grade on your speeches and a grade on your critiques, or else you would just not come to class if you didn't have a speech that day. And I remember I gave a critique to a woman who yelled at me in class, and my professor kept me afterwards to tell me that I should not stop participating just because I was yelled at. And I was like, I'm a timid forest deer, and if someone is loud, I'd run away. And you know what, like, that fucked me up. Obviously, I don't want to be yelled at by a grown woman, but, I continued because it helped other people in the class despite my intimidation, but her acceptance of my critique was met with aggression. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to be aggressive, but I am letting you know that your critique isn't helpful to anybody. So disguising it as criticism doesn't help when it's just something hurtful. Anyway. And I also went to art school, and critique was super important, an important part of it. I've heard all kinds of critiques, from good to passive aggressive to straight up rude. Crit can be rude if it's done wrong. Yes, that's a great way to put it. No joke, some of the critiques I endured during art school made me cry. Any artist, YouTuber, otherwise equate their art with an extension of themselves, so critiquing is always hard. Yes. And if all of us believe that our input is valuable, and it can be, the difference between criticism and being rude can be a fine line if you didn't even go to school to learn how to critique. Like, people are going to school to learn critique. And yeah, walking by and being like, that video sucked, see ya. When it's an extension of yourself, you're like, that didn't help, so that was just mean. But yeah, I'm drinking green tea with soy milk in it. I don't even know if people do that. But it's pretty good. And as it gets cold, I like it better. So in my live stream last week, I talked about this, and it is acceptance-seeking behavior. So I don't know if this is a term I created or something I read. So if you're like, there's a better word for this, please put it out there. So I was walking home from work last night, and I called John. And yes, we live together and spend all of our time together, basically, so why would I call him if I was walking home to him? But I said, I was like, John, I know that I'm, really chilling out on social media because of the negative effects, but I feel like my acceptance-seeking behavior is, really off the charts right now, and I don't know what to do. I feel awful, and I told him, I was like, I was at work, and I felt like one of my coworkers was being cold to me, and, I noticed it, and then I was like, in my mind, I was like, what did I do? What did I do? Did I, was I lazy? Did I not do something efficiently? Did I overlook something? Was I not working hard enough? did I make her job harder in some aspect? So like all these things are going through my mind. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And I'm like becoming paralyzed by it. So I like asked Melina, I'm like, do you think she's mad at me? And she like kind of turns around and she's like, why? What did you hear? And I was like, nothing. And she was like, so no one said she was mad at you? And I was like, no. And she was like, and nobody told you like something that made you think she might be mad at you? And I was like, no. And she's like, then she's probably not mad at you. And I was like, yeah, but like she like didn't give me eye contact earlier. But I think about like when I worked at McDonald's and I would just show up and not give a fuck for 8 hours and then go home. And if someone was actually mad at me, I didn't care. But like my acceptance seeking behavior is so fucked up right now that literally someone not giving me eye contact for like 2 minutes in a busy ass fucking salon, I took so personally. So I told that to John and he was like, yeah, 2 nights ago, I was just tired, like work kicked my ass. And I remember like 3 or 4 times that night you asked me what was wrong. And I was like, I'm tired. And then you just asked me again. And I was like, yeah, I thought you were mad at me. Duh. Were you? Like, you can tell me. And he was like, no one's mad at you. And if they're fucking mad at you, maybe they'll tell you. And like, maybe that is a little bit like, our generation is a little more passive aggressive to get shit done. But, you know, John was like, obviously that's a symptom of anxiety that you need to work on, but I think you're getting better. And I'll be completely honest, like we were riding bikes together and I was in the lead and he passed me and I took it really personally. And he was like, stop. You just have to stop. And that's all fucked up, you know? Who are we but like a generation of people stimulated by likes? And if someone doesn't give me a like, then I'm like, well, why do you hate me? And it's like, no, you fucking asshole. Your mind is all different now. But John, you know, he deleted his Instagram. He never just like was on social media like that. So he can like witness it happening to me and be that like affirming voice that I'm still like, nah. And he's like, no one is mad at you at work. I'm not mad at you. I pass you on my bike because my legs are longer. Yeah, so right now I'm talking about, what have I been calling it? Whatever. So, just like the idea that someone just has to like affirm and like accepting seeking behavior, just like every step along the way you need to be affirmed. And I saw this meme once before that was like, on my wedding day, do you accept that your husband, you know, to be your lawfully wedded husband? And the next line of the meme is like, yeah, but do you like me though? And I'm like, fuck, that's me. So I'm just going to read the chat a little bit. But it's like, while I thought my coworker was mad at me, that irrational thought, I still had a voice inside my head that was like, they probably are tired. They probably have stuff going on at home. This is just their job. So maybe they're wearing it on their shoulders a little bit. And fuck off. Fuck out of their business. But I still had to call John. I was like, man. I definitely feel like I have a problem with acceptance-seeking behavior. Pulling away from my phone is helping. Yes, I definitely want to do that. I like confess to John that I feel like I'm slipping up on my phone, and that I find myself on it a little bit more every day versus like the end of April, beginning of May when I was not on it. Now I'm back to charging it every day, where I could go 2 days without charging it previously. So obviously that is an indication that I'm on it more. So I'm a little worried about that. But then, you know, I'm out of the know. I didn't know about the still not asking for it event until I was on my phone a little bit more. So, how do you win? I think the critique should be asked this. Is that just for me? Or if this input, if I ask for it, if I want this input, I'll ask for it. And I think the same for any other creature. Am I the only one? So I think creator. So I think that's really helpful too. Like, is my critique helpful for the greater audience, or am I the only one who might feel this way? Like, am I the only one who is like, that outfit is ugly? Or am I just like, oh, like the video was too dark for me to watch on my laptop. Maybe it was too dark for other people to watch on their laptop. Versus like, yeah, that's why we put the comment out there to be like, anybody else hate outfit number 3, LOL? I don't know. Interesting. I'm trying to scroll a little on my Facebook timeline to see if there's some interesting events, but I don't let myself read any comments because I start reading them and feel so angry and sad. That angry and sad feeling that you may feel is something that Facebook makes a ton of money off of. Facebook loves when you feel angry and sad on their platform, which is fucked up. Don't we want to feel happy? So many people have depression, and it's like, is it because we're all feeling a little more comfortable talking about it? Or is it because, like, everything feels so fucked up? I try to keep my Instagram use a little more healthy by staying off the Explore page. That shit always sucks me in. Yes, I stopped using the Explore page. Which, like, now no one, if we all stop using the Explore page, obviously no one's going to find my content. However, when I'm on the Explore page, I feel like it's not catered to me. It's catered to, like, somebody who would like me. Like an evil twin who's, like, more fashionable and, like, probably eats the same things as me and stuff like that, but just isn't me. It's just, like, my shadow. I feel like my Explore page caters to this person and not me. I don't know if you feel that way, but sometimes I'll look on my Explore page and I'll see someone who's like an Instagram baddie, or I'll see someone on like this elaborate vacation or something like that, and I'm like, well, I can't afford those clothes and I can't afford that vacation. So this isn't necessarily content I benefit from, but I could see someone like me interested in it. So I feel like my Explore page definitely, like, caters to my evil twin and not me, but I still engage because I'm, like, a little bit like her. My evil twin is bougie. Oh my god, same. And my evil twin, like, doesn't get it. So on here, I'm at 57 minutes. I wanted to keep these weekly shows to an hour, but because I did get a late start, I'll keep going a little bit longer. Just wanted to say that I am hosting a giveaway. So the giveaway is for a Qcknd pin pack. If you met me at Tattoo Convention, I was offering these as well. And in the pin pack, there is 2 Qcknd stickers. And 2 Qcknd pins, the Bronco and the Qcknd traditional pin here. You can enter this giveaway by subscribing to my channel, and you can leave a comment. If you don't have like YouTube Messenger open, if you don't have any YouTube videos on your YouTube channel that I can comment on, definitely leave like your contact if your username is different across the platform. Like if you are on Twitter, leave your Twitter handle. If you're on Instagram, leave your Instagram so I can just like get a hold of you somehow. Like I said before, I held a giveaway on a live stream before, and getting a hold of the person who won was a nightmare. So just let me know. You can just subscribe to me. Make sure you subscribe and like. I have all of the super chat people in the bio. So if you left a super chat comment on the previous video, I have left your comment in the bio. So I'm going to keep doing that. So if you leave a super chat comment, I'll always post your super chat comment in the next video. I did that with my last live stream as well. So you can check out my last live stream to see the people who participated in the live chat for that one. So if you ever leave a live chat, whatever your message will be left in my bio as well. So you can participate in that. A lot of people ask what super chat is. You may have to be watching on a browser to enable super chat, but that's just the super chat thing. So you can leave that. That way you can be featured in the next video. I hope to do these at least every Friday, and I do like to do live streams when I have like something to say. Is there any way to purchase pins if we're not the lucky person who wins? So I'm going to host better giveaways when I understand more the structure of these videos. So this giveaway is going to be open for 1 week. So if you're not watching this live and you're watching it on playback, you can still leave a comment that has your preferred contact on it, and you can still like this video, and you still have a chance to subscribe for the next week. If you are already subscribed, you don't have to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. You don't have to do that. I have my subscribers public, so I can just double check and scroll through there. Is Ethan in here? Oh no, he's not. Psst, psst, psst. I see Olive's tail. He hears me. Psst. Little baby, he's orange. I wish Olive was in here. I have all my windows closed, so I'm dead. So I'm watching it work, and this is helping my soul. So yeah, while I figure out like the Friday show, and if I want it to be a live thing, a continued thing, maybe twice a month or once a week, I think I like the giveaways that YouTubers will use where you like click on an outside window and it gives you other options to enter the giveaway as well. I started doing that with like Raffle Copter, but didn't want to make it too official without like seeing if there was even interest in it. I said this earlier in the stream, if you've been here the whole time, I like when YouTubers who have like an established audience, like they haven't grown for a while, like it's clearly not to grow, it's just to like give away stuff they have. I am considering coming out with merch, so that's still just like a daydream right now. I'm actually going to make an appointment to talk to somebody about it. However, until then, there's not really a way for you to get merch if it's not from like a pop-up experience. Like I sold pins at Tattoo Convention, this giveaway, and maybe other pop-up kind of things in the future. I'll always announce stuff like that. So that's kind of like how to get merch at this point. Unfortunately, just the way I sold merch initially wasn't completely sound, especially to accommodate like people who are very used to like buying things from Amazon or buying online with a lot of structure and tracked shipping and shit like that. Like I couldn't offer tracking without charging you guys more. My initial pin sold for $8. and like they probably should have sold for 12, stuff like that. But I'm hoping to work out those kinks and like talk to someone who's a professional, not offer through a third party platform, but like do it well. My speech. But don't forget to subscribe to be entered for this. I saw a subscription drop the other day, so you may have been unsubscribed or you just didn't like some shit I had to say, but that's how I feel. I got this question on Twitter, and it says, do you plan to get your neck or throat tattooed? And I actually don't. I like the idea of my tattoos being like just for me. So having a tattoo that I couldn't always cover isn't something I'm necessarily like interested in or leaning towards. I do like seeing other tattooed people, so it's not that I don't like seeing them on other people. If I can like quick identify a tattoo person, I'm like, yeah, cool. I love the like offset neck tattoos as well, the ones that like are off center. Like a cool like swallow right here is always super dope. Kat Von Drizzy has this like rose to the side that I always liked. I always thought that was cool, how it like comes forward. As just an example. But right now I don't know. I almost got a tattoo on the back of my neck, and if you see, let me pull up my monitor. I don't know what I look like. My like back tattoo comes up a little higher than I ever thought. So I like to think that even though I originally wanted that tattoo lower, my friend Danielle, we did the Pokemon Go video together, and all of her sisters come to my salon and make fun of me for it, by the way. Her back tattoo starts like here. So she could wear like a round neck shirt and no one would know that she's fully tattooed. And I always thought that was really dope. I never told Mark I wanted it lower, and when we put the stencil on, I loved it. And I love it now too. Actually, when like his horns peek out, I think it's really cool. It's kind of like the sensation when you wear a long sleeve shirt and like a little bit of your tattoo comes out. I love it. But I'm too geeked on that feeling than to have like a full on tattoo like somewhere I couldn't hide. But that's kind of how I feel, and it's like not a diss. I know sometimes those can come off as a diss. I think I had Mike King on the show. I had Michael Sweater on the show last year, and he said the same thing. He likes when tattoos come out just a little bit, and that's true too. Like when those little drops of blood just come out, I feel super tough. Like people are like, oh shit, she's tattooed. I'd never seen her fucking YouTube channel. So obviously, I can't really hide from it any longer, but sometimes, you know, I'm just at Acme chilling. And, this says my best tattoos are covered and for me. That's totally true. I also read that as, like, my best tattoos are covered, and sometimes me too. Like, my back tattoo is arguably one of my best tattoos, like I feel. It's huge, so all the details there. No one ever really can see that tattoo all the way. So like as one of my best tattoos, it is always covered. Some of my best tattoos are like my upper thigh, my tattoo from Jessie Preston, the bang trim. I think that's my like one of my best tattoos on my body. It's fucking amazing. Like, I can't believe Jessie Preston is the best tattoo artist. If you are in Montreal, Portland, or anywhere near you, New York, like anywhere within like a 5-hour drive to New York, 5-hour drive to Portland, get tattooed by Jessie Preston. I can't, not sponsored, not on her radar. I just think she's fucking incredible. When you guys message me and you say you were tattooed by Jessie Preston, I'm just like, I just die. I'm like, thank God. She needs to tattoo so many more people. Arguably one of my best tattoos, and it's covered. No one can really see it. Just chilling at Acme is such a mood. I got tattooed after seeing her on You. So chill. Oh, I was gonna say something. Someone said, how do you feel about Qcknd announcing that she's an anti-vaxxer? So I was gonna write that on here, but it seemed like such new news. But like I said, I kind of want to have the Friday show cover some shit that I don't want to like be stuck on Twitter about. So Qcknd is pregnant, and she announced that she's not going to vaccinate her baby and that she's gonna have a home birth and shit like that. I've been a shampoo girl at like 2 high-end salons for like the last 3 years. So I've ran into women who are having home births, who have midwives, who have au pairs, nannies. Like, I've ran into it all. And obviously that shit never bothers me. It is like a representation of wealth. If I ever have a baby, I'll have it at a hospital and pay the bills for a very long time. My friend Danielle, the back tattoo, Pokemon Go, she picked her health insurance around, like her health insurance plan, like she's Obamacare, TMI, put Danielle on blast like this, but she's Obamacare, and she picked her plan around a plan that would like benefit her the most if she got pregnant. So it's like, we're out here fucking trying to have a baby. So obviously the thing about Qcknd, she made this long post that was like, people are upset that I'm a pregnant vegan, and people are upset that I've chosen to make my baby vegan, and that I'm going to have a midwife, and that I'm going to have a water birth, and that I'm going to not vaccinate my baby. And people are like, what's the last thing you said? Because everything else was fine. Most of us are vegan and have vegan kids. Mark Cross has this little story that he told me that like his daughter is vegan. Him and his wife are as well. And they were at a store, and his daughter wanted a Kinder Egg. And she was like, Dad, I want the Kinder Egg. And he was like, they're not vegan. She was like, I don't care, I want the Kinder Egg. Maybe that means I'm not vegan. This little girl said that. And Mark was like, I can guide her and feed her like I feed her, but I can't decide for her that she's vegan. And I thought that that was inspired. So, like, you can hope that Qcknd creates the same path for her child. But I'm not sure. We have this one friend, he actually just moved to Hawaii, and he was raised vegan, and when he turned 18, he started eating meat, and he used to work at a hot dog cart in our neighborhood. And it was kind of dope. John would go there for the macaroni and cheese. But anyway, that's just my experience versus Qcknd's experience, but the anti-vaxxer thing was interesting. People will tell you that vaccines aren't vegan, and there's a post on my Tumblr from like 2 years ago that was like, do you still get vaccinated? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, do you care that vaccines like have fish oil and shit in them? And I was like, no, it's my responsibility as a healthy person to get vaccinated. But I don't know. John and I were talking about it, so this is information from John, but he said that the original article that said that vaccines cause autism, the doctor who published the article was actually disbarred because the comments he made were so detrimental to people getting vaccinated. That's up to Qcknd, but I don't think she had to tell anyone. I don't think anyone needed to know that. Just imagine how many children in Hollywood who have very specialized lives that we don't have access to. Just imagine how they live. I mean, some of us can't because we don't know what it's like. I don't think Qcknd had to tell any of us that. But I don't know. She started like a reality TV show celebrity. And then became obviously like this huge makeup creator person. I should read again. So, from reality TV show star to someone who creates a luxury product sold at Sephora, she kind of made that jump. So I wouldn't consider her like B-list. I would consider her like somebody who is creating a product. So I don't understand the mentality to announce a controversial and private decision to the public. And I don't know why she did that. I think it goes back to the Facebook, agitators, which I talked about earlier in the live stream. If you just tuned in, Facebook, to very, very make it short, Facebook encourages arguments on their site to keep you more engaged, to keep you on the site longer, so you'll consume more advertiser content. Qcknd set herself up to put out an unpopular opinion. And like I said earlier, you can put up unpopular opinions out there, but when you have over 1 million followers, why would you do that to yourself? It's like self-harm. It's like, why would you put out information that people would disagree with when you could just not tell anyone? You could just not tell anyone and no one would know. And then no one would be mad at you for making a private decision. And her backing and a lot of the people defending her are like, a mother knows best. Why are you worried about something a mother is doing for her child? A mother knows best. And I'm like, yo, that's true, but why did she tell anyone if it's a decision she made for her child? Why did she a public decision she made for her child? So then the argument that a lot of people are saying, they're like, I could give a fuck about Qcknd, but how many people are going to follow in her footsteps? And is Qcknd promoting this so it can become something? Like, is this a lifestyle choice that she made to stimulate her brand, which is Qcknd? Not necessarily Qcknd Cosmetics, but like Qcknd as a lifestyle person. Qcknd talk show. Like, I don't know. So then you're like, oh yeah, how many copycats are going to be like, well, if Qcknd's child in 5 years is healthy, with long hair and like perfect skin and like great grades and shit, people might attribute it to not being vaccinated versus being placed in a very privileged lifestyle and a very privileged household and someone who is exposed to the best of the best. I was listening to NPR the other day, and NPR said that children who are born in poverty or in like inner cities and things like that are exposed to so many thousands of less words by the time they reach kindergarten age versus somebody who is in a more affluent like community. So they'll go in and they say that, children where both of the parents work or whatever and they aren't home and they can't do pre-education, like pre-kindergarten education with their children, read to them before they go to bed, I don't know, Sesame Street, shit like that. These children just hear so many less words. So when they go to kindergarten, they're not as exposed to language as much. Like, they may be English speaking, but they just haven't heard the same vocabulary as other children who are more affluent and more exposed and maybe went to preschool and then kindergarten. So to believe that Qcknd's child will, I don't know, be a better child because it wasn't vaccinated, no matter what, it's going to be a better child than even one I could have. But I don't know why she told anyone. Just shut up. Just keep that shit to yourself if you think no one's gonna like it. She was like, my dad is mad at me. And I was like, let that be the only person who's mad at you and not 1,000,001 people. 1,000,000 people plus your dad. Just your dad. I don't know. So I think it may have been on Vice. I watched something about anti-vaxxers because my brother has been diagnosed with autism, and shit like that makes me really angry because I'm like, stop fucking saying shit like that. So, a lot of people don't want to be vaccinated because they believe it leads to autism, but there are sensitive people in the community who can't be vaccinated, like some babies, some senior citizens, shit like that. Babies who are born just like with genetic diseases and stuff like that. I'm not a doctor, but some people can't be vaccinated. So if most of us get vaccinated, it's supposed to help the people who can't. So the people who choose not to be vaccinated versus people who genetically can't be vaccinated, it just fucks everything up. There was a case of polio in New York City from a tourist, and they like tracked the whole tourist route to make sure everyone was okay. Was it polio? Anyway. Sorry about my nose. I've been talking a while. Affluent celebrities are obviously going to treat their children way different than middle class, lower class poverty. Of course. But why expose that information to your arguably mostly middle class audience and expect them to understand? You know, just imagine how celebrities may raise their children, and that we're probably like, that's crazy. Did you see I think it's in New York, the activity playground to encourage kids to like get hurt to make them more tough, and it's like got hammers and nails and it's all wood and shit, and they interview a kid who's like building a clubhouse with like old pallets, and he's like, I'm in the action playground. I don't know anything about parenting. I think that if Qcknd, wants to do that to her kid, I obviously can't like link her baby to not being vaccinated to like other children and shit, and the like people on the news who are anti-vaxxers and stuff. Like, obviously all of that is not Qcknd's fault, and we're encouraged to argue with Qcknd, so Facebook makes a ton of money, so whatever. She can speak her mind and be representative of it and be like, I'm gonna be a woman, a successful woman who's pregnant, and a successful woman who has a midwife and has a water birth and all that shit. And she could be like queen anti-vaxxer and stuff, but as long as like you saw it and I guess, we're able to learn something, that's cool. So I don't know. I'm not sure that I don't know. I guess you have to be in a position to have a child who doesn't get vaccinated. Like, I don't know anybody like that, but obviously I'm in a middle class environment, so I don't know. I definitely don't want this to be a discussion about vaccines or whatever. I definitely created that environment just now. But I did find it very interesting to see Qcknd post it, and then the reception of it from the public, and the reception of it from her fans, and then shit like that. And it made me think about what's our responsibility to take influencers or people and attach it or separate it from their brand. Someone was like, some vaccines you need to go to college. I had to get a vaccine in order to go into my high school that I did not have. So I had to be vaccinated to go to my public high school, which it goes back to like class almost. Like Qcknd, if her kid couldn't get into high school because they're not vaccinated, she would just send them to a private school. You know what I mean? Like, me and my brothers all had to be vaccinated to go to the school district we went to, because we went to public school. That's what I mean, you know? So, privilege does have a part in it, you know? Unless you're homeschooled and whatever. But I find it interesting that a lot of the things I saw were like, oh, I'm not going to use Kat Von D makeup anymore because she's not vaccinated her kid. Those things feels like there's a little bit of a divide in there. And I wanted to, I don't know how to say, like, this is just an observational viewpoint. I'm definitely not coming at Kat Von D's throat or anything right now. I want that to be verbalized before I begin. But when I saw the things about her being an anti-vaxxer, I didn't necessarily associate it with her makeup brand. And I feel like when these controversies come out, you know, sometimes people put on the news like their stock has dropped. Like when Rihanna said that Snapchat was over, I mean, in the news that day, they showed like Snapchat's stock plummeting. And with all this Facebook shit, they always show like the stock plummeting. And my initial opinion of it was like, oh, I wonder if Kat Von D's stock is gonna plummet. And Kaylin told me that Kat Von D is coming out with like a shoe line. And I was like, oh, is it gonna be cool? And she was like, not stuff you would like. And I was like, what? Because I wear white dirty Vans every day? So I'm like, oh, is Kat Von D like speaking out about this thing, being outspoken? Her being outspoken in general, will that affect her branding? And then I like to think about how much emphasis and stuff we put on the individual if they create something for the public market. And this is something I hear a lot often, like, let the public market decide, is a phrase that maybe if we checked on Google Analytics would have risen in the last couple weeks, because I hear it so often now. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, because one, you know, I've had people message me who were like, I used to support your videos, but, and I'm like, ooh. And then it's like, me, little scale. And then it's like Kat Von D, huge scale. But are there people who are not affected by this? So, oh yeah, I definitely want to clear up that I don't think vaccines cause autism. I think that my brother has been given a lot of shit because of it, so I feel for him, and I think that it's fucked up that people say that. I also said that the doctor who made that statement was disbarred because it was so harmful that he said that. Clear that up. So that's cleared up, I hope. Everyone in my family is vaccinated. So, I think it's really interesting. I think it's kind of a new phenomenon, but so many things are happening at the same time. Earlier, I had this thought. I was like, what if Kat Von D's makeup line wasn't called Kat Von D? Like, so many makeup artists, their line is named after them. And I'm like, well, look at ColourPop. If some shit happened at ColourPop, would we even know? I don't know the owner of ColourPop's name, but if someone was like, oh, but who's the owner of Huda Beauty? I'd be like, Huda? Huda is the fucking owner, and Kat Von D is the owner of Kat Von D makeup. So I think that that's a little interesting. I was thinking about that. And other celebrities and other people who do endorsements, like Fenty is Rihanna's last name. So Fenty shoes, Fenty lingerie, Fenty makeup, Rihanna Fenty. It's pretty closely associated. So I think that's interesting. I don't think Rihanna has any controversies, but I was just thinking, like, our names attached to our products can be harmful, but we also attach our names to products right then and there. But I don't even understand how this controversies created attached to the person could be avoided, or if they are a brand new phenomenon, or if this branding is a new phenomenon and therefore the free market decides. So let me know in the sidebar, do you think this will be attached to Qcknd? I get that her makeup line is far removed from her opinions on vaccination, but she's so influential and her ideas on vaccination are so harmful in my opinion that I don't feel comfortable buying it. I think that that will be like a free market decision too. And definitely, I don't know. Does she do all the branding, or does she pay someone to do all the branding? And how many people work for her, and are they all affected by these comments every day? Is she the leader? So does everything get shut down? And the people who also work beside her, do they lose it as well? Because if she's like the leader of everything, it's very interesting. I believe. But someone brought up Lime Crime. Lime Crime is not called whatever the girl's name is, but Lime Crime was able to be developed because she was a social media influencer, so she was able to promote it like on her coattails. So interesting, I feel like, versus ColourPop that just like showed up one day and we were all like, oh, that's pretty affordable. I do think Kat Von D's brand will suffer a bit because the news has personally made me reconsider supporting her. I'm not somebody, I know that this is going to sound a little suspicious. I don't have a ton of high-end makeup, so I don't buy makeup very, very often. So consumers like me and maybe you, who aren't buying new makeup once a month, who aren't buying new makeup every 2 months. I don't know. I mostly wear NYX makeup anyway. High-end makeup like this. It feels like a lot of the more high-end makeup companies also have controversies. I don't know. I guess L'Oreal's in the news a lot too. This is all over the place. To be honest, I feel like this won't affect her. I feel like controversies are eventually forgotten about, so it creates kind of immunity, and there will always be people who just don't care. That's really true. And I think a lot of us don't consider the people who don't give a fuck, or the people who aren't on social media and controversies blow over so they're unaware. If I didn't check my phone this morning, I would have missed that controversy because I know by this afternoon it's going to be gone. And then the next time I'm at Sephora and I'm like, do I still like liquid lipsticks? I don't know. By then, someone like me may have not seen it. So then there's kind of this additional divide where people who are aware and then the people who aren't aware for just natural organic reasons collide. Imagine if I wasn't informed on this and then in 3 months I'm showing you guys a new Kat Von D product and you're like, well, what the fuck, Amanda? I'm burning the t-shirt of yours and shit like that. And that keeps happening as well. Is there a new name for it? I saw that there's a new FOMO and it's called like fear of missing the best offer or some shit. Like if you're afraid to buy something because you think that there's a better deal. Anyway, I wish there was a phrasing for the phenomenon of like missing out on a controversy and then feeling stupid later when everyone's like, well, why didn't you know that? You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of a good example. But even definitely as a, okay, my one light lost the battery. The joy of missing out me. Definitely, I feel like as an influencer YouTuber person, there's definitely, I'm not all knowing, and there's not a ton of research I do on everything that I show you or promote to you or interact with. And I can definitely think of like products and stuff. Like even, I did a video with Fashion Nova. I did a video with Fashion Nova years ago. Had to been like 2015 when I was just starting to get sponsorships. And when Fashion Nova reached out to me, I was like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this opportunity. I did a video with Fashion Nova, and a lot of the comments were like, this company's bad. And I was like, I didn't know that. And that kind of teaches you maybe to look into shit a little more as it happens, which I encourage. Fear of missing drama. So I can also say that people will definitely miss this Kat Von D news because it is not world news and it's not that important in a grand scope of other news competing with it. So the people who miss this will also continue to buy Kat Von D products, even versus like her stans that would buy it no matter what the fuck she said. There's also just brand loyalty and people who just buy the thing they like all the time. And they don't even follow Kat Von D on social media. They just fucking do it. I recently started following Kat Von D Beauty on Instagram because I wanted to, it was like her 10-year, like 5-year reunion or some shit, or anniversary. And I remember thinking like, has it been that long? I'm really out of the loop. And I followed her. It sucks, like her branding appeals to me and stuff like that too. So like I said, like people who just fucking missed it wouldn't know. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss in the eyes of your physical life, but when you go online and you're not informed, you like come off as a someone who's ill-informed, and that makes you bad. You're supposed to be like informed on the things you believe in and informed about all your worldly views. I was shampooing this girl yesterday and she was on her phone, and this is going to sound cocky, but she put down her phone to get shampooed, and I was like, oh, did you read anything good? And it's not cocky, but sometimes people are like on Twitter and shit or on Pinterest, and they're like, yeah, I was reading about this bookcase, and I'm like, tell me. So I was like, oh, did you read anything good? And she was like, no, I'm not checking the news anymore because it gives me anxiety. And I was like, oh, how long have you not been checking the news? She was like, 2 weeks. And I was like, I don't even know what to talk to her. Like, some of my older clients I shampoo, I'm like, yo, Roseanne. And they're like, dog. And then younger clients, you know, you'll talk about social media news. So with her, I was like, 2 weeks. 2 weeks she's not checking the news. She doesn't know who's passed away. She doesn't know what's going on in Korea. She doesn't know what's going on with the Eagles in Philly, bitch. So I'm speechless shampooing her because that's all I'm thinking about. I'm like, what the fuck? But when she said it affects my anxiety to read the news, immediately I was like, how much does the news affect my anxiety? How much does the news affect your anxiety? But is it a privilege to be uninformed? You know what I mean? Is it ignorance is bliss, or are you ignorant if you are uninformed? I think about that, and obviously my life is nothing but conflictions. And I feel conflicted to be someone who doesn't check the news. Obviously, as someone who works in a field where communication is so vital, being out of the loop seems nice, but I want to be informed to be able to communicate with you guys, communicate to the people I shampoo, tell them something new. Maybe they can tell me something new. They can grant me a point of view. It's a lot easier to digest an opposite point of view in real life than online. So that's always interesting too. But is it a privilege to be uninformed? When we got an antenna TV, I watch the news every day. And I can be like, Philly's a really safe place. And I can feel that way and believe that. But if I watch the news every day, the news is like, there was 2 hit and runs, and there was a shooting in Southwest, and there's a bridge that's so close to collapsing in Tioga. And I'm just like, Philly's shit. But then, like, that's probably the news everywhere. So I don't want to believe that. Outrage culture is just something that is so easy to fall into, and it takes so much out of you. It's true. Facebook wants us to be outraged. We can confirm that. But if you don't participate in outrage culture, it's like, here's what's fucked up. And don't let this sound too fucked up, but outrage culture, someone will post a provocative point. And I'm not trying to downplay anything that's ever been deemed as outrage culture. Put that out there. This is an oversimplification for my live stream. Someone will post a provocative point, and it's your chance to say something in response to the provocative point of outrage, where you amplify the original point, or you don't agree and you discredit it. When else do us as normal civilians get to participate in some sort of, in this like college level activity where we're like, I will debate this, and I'll debate it with my heart and all the vocabulary I know, and I'll do it for all 16 of my followers to enjoy. Even if you're outraged about the original topic, do you get joy from your output? Do you get a sense of satisfaction when you like say that thing, that like rebuttal? Do you feel satisfied in it? Does it make you feel good? Does your serotonin get going? I have conflictions about that because it seems a little like, I don't know, it seems a little trigger happy, seems a little like gambling. I don't know. I stand up for the things I believe in a tolerable amount that is safe for me. You know, I don't want to tell a million people I don't vaccinate my baby. That seems like something that could really hurt my personal life, but outrage culture is interesting in that aspect. I also see a lot of the same people post and like wait for today's outrage. I see a lot of the same usernames over and over again, like bump the same thing we're all mad at today. And I'm just like, that's just what some people's Twitters are about, I guess. And like the person said, it just takes it out of you. It takes your energy. My father knows I believe in global warming, and he doesn't. It's to a point where I just can't even have a relationship with him because it's just exhausting. Neither of us are changing our opinion. Yeah, it seems like the things that we disagree with and fully believe in are so exhausting to us. I don't know. I think that sounds exhausting. And when it's online, it's just endless. It's like, it's a cliche, but it's like talking to a brick wall. Like, you can't penetrate somebody who has a finite opinion. I think it's a privilege, but if you're miserable from the news, you won't be able to positively affect the world. I agree. So I don't watch the TV news anymore. I did turn it on the other day because a building had collapsed in Philly. And my grandma called me to like make sure I was okay. And I was like, why? And I popped the news on. But I only get channel 10, and we used to have a different antenna where we get 3 news channels, so I like to switch between all 3. Now I only get 10, so I only know what 10's up to. And yeah, I'll watch the news if like the Eagles win the Super Bowl, but now I don't watch the public news, like the cable news anymore, antenna TV news. I get most of my news from Twitter. We need to stop accepting people calling things opinions when what they really mean is ignoring facts and saying bullshit. Who said it? It was like Ricky Gervais, who was like, your opinion isn't a fact, you just believe in it. And a lot of people, Ricky Gervais saying it made it like problematic, but I think that was a really good point. People do stand behind their opinion so hard, and then you're just like, wait, that's just like how you feel. Like, there's no sources to how you feel, there's no journalism to how you feel, there's no investigation or fucking bibliography. It's just like how you feel, and you can stand behind it, but don't present it as fact. But this is how we all talk now. I said this in my live stream. Everything we post is phrased as dialogue. Even though it's on our Twitter, we type it as verbal dialogue. We wouldn't type it like we are like presenting a paper. It's not written like a thesis. It's written like speech. That's why so many of us on Twitter use shorthand, or so many people on Twitter type like the same way they talk. What's that called? When you type like how words, God, it's like on the tip of my tongue. Phono. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, if all you do is consume Twitter news like me, and all you're doing is reading dialogue, like, it's confusing. And then you ever read an article and you're like, I hate the way this is typed. Who talks like this? It's like, no one, it's an article. No one's talking. People are stubborn sometimes. They often don't want to educate themselves to understand another person's point of view until both parties try to understand. There's no point in starting a debate. Phonetically, yes. Although I love like Scottish phonetic Twitter. That's my shit. But still, it's all dialogue. But let's stray from this because it's heavy. And even though I feel like a lot of this is deeply, deeply rooted in how I feel about social media right now, obviously, let's kind of stray from it because my drink is almost empty. Now it is empty. So let me pop into the group chat. You can't spill the tea if your mug is empty. I'm here. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the chat. And it's so warm in here. I guess what I want to say though is I think it's cool that all of us in the chat, from what I just viewed, are having like a pretty like effective dialogue. I see a lot of people who are like, I don't agree, or I do agree, this is why, that's interesting, here's what you said but a little bit different. I think that that's all really effective. No one has like completely been like fuck you over in the comments here. But that's kind of just like, and I always wonder if people my age or like people like me feel the same way as me. So if you feel like you're just neutral and you just believe in good stuff and stuff. Seems like that. I've been having so many debates lately with people about tattoo pricing. Could you maybe speak to that? People thinking tattoos are too overpriced. So I don't think that, I think it's interesting. I think that there's a lot of like tattoo artists who are available to us way more than ever. And as someone who is an apprentice at a high-end salon, I want to one day work at a high-end salon, and I want a background that, you know, fortifies the prices. And Kaylin, who is my instructor, my like master colorist instructor, she's raising her prices this year. And I think it's really interesting. I've been listening to her have conversations with her clients to let them know. She's like, hey, I just want to let you know this year I'm raising my prices. She just came back from this additional masterclass, and this year she was featured in Allure magazine. So she's like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm raising my prices. I don't think it's going to be an insane amount, but she's just letting people know, like, I used to charge this, and now I believe I'm qualified to charge this. And she, you know, sometimes clients are excited, they're proud, and they're like, yo, my hairstylist just got better, my hairstylist just evolved, cool. Now, all of a sudden, I can tell people my hairstylist was in Allure magazine. And you know, I'm going to fucking do that. I got an appointment yesterday I made an appointment with Kaylin, and it's not until the end of the month. Because she's booked. So, I think that, like, with tattooing and stuff, with tattooing, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, if you train to be a certain type of tattoo artist, if you want to be a higher end tattoo artist, if you went to art school, if you trained under somebody who is renowned, if you, like, you know, anything like that, if you've been a tattoo artist for a certain amount of years, so you made your price this, if you tattoo in a style that's unique and only a certain amount of people can do it, you can charge this. If you tattoo in New York City, you have to at least charge this. So, I think that, like, certain tattoo artists just obviously have to charge a certain amount. If I left beauty school and started working at hair cuttery from beauty school and never started an apprenticeship, I could not charge what Kaylin charges. One, hair cuttery would not allow me to charge that much because they are like an entry-level salon. And you could similarly be like an entry-level tattoo artist, and obviously that is going to cater to a certain amount of people. When I was a kid, my mom took me to hair cuttery if my grandmom didn't cut my hair, because she was like, that's a fucking kid. Yeah, $20. That's what I'll pay for her haircut. And you might be somebody who puts more focus on the things like their car, having a car, or like having a house, or living in a certain city, or living a particular lifestyle. Maybe you go out to eat a lot. Maybe you go on vacation a lot. Maybe you have an expensive hobby or interest. So you might not put a lot of emphasis in how much you pay for a haircut. When I worked at beauty school, when I was in beauty school, we offered $12 and like $20 haircuts, and most of our clients were students because obviously that's what they could pay, and they didn't really give a fuck what they looked like. The same thing can go for tattooing, obviously. If you just want a little knick-knack tattoo, if you want a really simple tattoo, you know, you wouldn't go to Mark Cross in New York City. If you just wanted a tattoo of like somebody's initials, you would probably just go to a local, maybe a walk-in shop. Maybe you would get a tattoo with The Apprentice because you're like, well, it's pretty easy. I'll help out The Apprentice with this easy tattoo. Maybe that's how you feel. So along the way, obviously there's like different pricing brackets. It says you get what you pay for, and that's totally true. As far as hair cutting, as far as hair color, and as far as tattooing. If you're somebody who just can't afford a high-end tattoo, I mean, that's just tattoos are obviously like a luxury product, and I see a lot more people with tattoos. I see a lot of like, I don't see tattoos on the stereotypical people I saw tattoos on 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I think that tattoos are now on a lot more people. A lot more people have access to tattoos, and a lot more people have access to tattoos that are specific to them. Sorry, my drink is gone. So, we can all feel like, because tattoos are so much more accessible, I think all of us can feel like, well, when did they start becoming expensive? Or when did tattoos stop being cheap? Or if you don't have experience with tattoos, you're like, well, why is it this expensive? I saw this thing on Twitter where it was this girl talking to another woman to get catering services. And she wanted all of this shit. Maybe you saw it. It was on Twitter. She wanted like an omelet bar, a waffle station. She wanted buffalo wings with like 50 different flavors. She wanted like a seafood spread, blah, 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 for 200 people. And the caterer said $5,000. And the girl was like, I want to spend $2,000. And she was like, I can't do that. And she was like, well, it's either $2,000 or you don't get the job. And the caterer was like, okay, bye. I can't make it happen. When I was reading that, I read through the comments, and people are like, you can't even get fucking seafood for that much money anyway. So it would have been $28 a plate, and a lot of the comments were like, omelets, waffles, buffalo wings, and seafood, a plate for $28. That sounds like a really good fucking deal. Obviously, it can't happen. So maybe people don't understand the pricing, but there's always this debate about the transparency about pricing and not. And actually I have a video called like my most expensive and least expensive tattoo. And I actually just got a comment on it yesterday that said, you shouldn't be talking about the prices of your tattoos. And it's kind of contradictory to the rest of the mood of the post, where people are like, I'm talking about my tattoos. This should be an open conversation that we have. And then this one came out and was like, don't talk about it. So I didn't engage with them. I wasn't like, why? But I did find it interesting. There is a salon in Philadelphia called Cultivate X. And in their Instagram branding, they call it like it's not honest price, it's transparent pricing. So it's like, and with our transparent pricing guarantee, your service today would be $500. And that's right there on their Instagram. And you can say, oh, that's good. That will make sure people who can't pay $500 don't go to their salon. Or you can say like, oh, they charge $500? But at our salon, price is talked about in the consultation. So if you request a consultation, they tell you the price. If you don't request the consultation, it's kind of assumed that you know that you're paying for a full highlight. It's probably going to be over $100. So I guess tattooing in the same way, if you get tattooed by Ami James, you're not going to show up with just $200. Like, that's not going to cover it. But that's interesting. But I don't know. Sorry, I'm going through the chat. Aren't apprenticeships for cosmetology about to not exit anymore, or is that just in my state? I'm in cosmetology school now, and we were told it's changing what will happen to existing apprentices. So I went to beauty school, got my hours in, and then generally, I mean, I live in a considerably major city. So in Philadelphia, there's high-end salons that are offered to people. If you want to work in a salon that is like an entry-level salon, you would work in an entry-level salon, Sport Clips, Great Clips, Hair Cuttery, Walmart. And then you would kind of like have a working apprenticeship, as in like something to put on your resume, build up clients, build up confidence. In Philadelphia, you become a shop assistant when you get out of beauty school. And then you assist to understand what it's like to work in a high-end salon, because high-end salons are very busy, so they need assistants to shampoo and sweep and do laundry and shit like that. And then if you're an assistant at a salon, that's kind of your little resume builder. One of my mentors from my old salon was an assistant for 7 years because there wasn't an open chair for her, but she knew what salon she wanted to work in, so she was an assistant there until she could have a chair. That kind of just happens. Assistants are paid, what they need to be paid, and you just do that for a while until you become a hairstylist, or you find out that you didn't want to do it at all. But definitely Philadelphia, New York, other cities like that, you don't become a hairstylist outside of beauty school. Beauty school teaches you bacteria, safety, blood pathogens and shit, dirt. It teaches you like to touch a person and not be scared, but it doesn't really teach you high-end haircuts. Like, no one from beauty school can give you a graduated bob. But, Have you come across Wayne Fredrickson on YouTube? He's a traditional artist that's been making a lot of insightful videos you'd be into. So, Wayne hit me up a couple years ago. I was still living at John's parents' house, so mad years ago. And he hit me up, and he asked me, like, some advice on YouTube and, like, some of my numbers and shit like that. And at first I was like, I don't want to tell him this shit. But then it was cool. So we've been, like, we chat from here from time to time. If he ever has questions about shit, I always answer. He wanted to tattoo me at Tattoo Convention and put it on his blog, but since I was working at the booth, I didn't have time to like slip away for like 3 hours, and I also like didn't know what I wanted. I don't think I've been tattooed this year, honestly, but he's chill, he's cool. I believe he's bros with Derek Brimsey. In some states, you can apprentice to get hours instead of school. So in Pennsylvania, you can apprentice to get hours instead of school as well. And one girl from the first salon I worked at did that. She was one of the hairstylist's daughter. And she just worked at the salon for like 2 years. And they gave that to her as hours. But you still have to take your boards. So you still have to do like additional education to learn like all the bacteria and shit like that, and all the funguses in your nails, which is like, there's a million fucking funguses in your nails. You still have to learn all of that stuff in order to pass your boards. Apprentice hours are longer than school hours, but arguably I would have loved to have been an apprentice instead of go to beauty school. However, I think I benefit from learning in a classroom setting, so I'm glad I did both. I don't know what to recommend. The apprenticeship I'm in now obviously is not for hours, which means I can receive compensation, which is chill. I'm considering going straight into an apprenticeship after I graduate college, and I'm trying to figure out if I should move up north for the different opportunity or stay close to home. I don't know. Philadelphia is definitely a competitive city, if you're talking about haircuts. And if you work in a competitive setting, then you can set competitive prices, but it's still difficult it's still sink or swim, you know? But what you charge in somewhere rural can't compare to what you charge in a city, but the cost of living rurally is less, so... Is there a reason you've slowed down on getting tattoos? I guess, when I was living in my apartment, I thought it would be irresponsible to get tattoos at that time, especially like expensive tattoos. I'm planning on getting my back finished being tattooed. I plan on having my back tattoo finished, the lower back. I just know it's really gonna hurt. And TMI, John was like popping a pimple on my back last night and it really hurt. So I was like, God damn it, like this is my future to get my back finished tattooed. But yesterday I wore this like racer back tank top. So you could see both of my shoulders, and like one shoulder is the skeleton head and the other shoulder is the woman. And I just felt very good about it. Obviously my lower back is covered and only I would see it most of the time, but I don't know. So I have 2 ideas in mind that I want to present to Mark, but I need to take a picture of my back that like, I don't know how to like hide my butt crack. I don't know if I get the rest of my back finished, I feel like my butt has to be out. And I'm like, ugh. For the most part though, I want to get some laser removal. And the place I get my laser removal at is in Allentown, so John has to drive me. So I just my time is kind of limited because John and I only have 1 day off together. And I also take classes that day, but I only take 2 classes a month. So I just feel like I'm a little time constricted, but I just need to figure it out. Oh, so the person who said I'm considering going to an apprenticeship after I graduate college, just trying to figure out if I should move up north. You'll definitely find more tattoo shops in a city. So if you are like giving out your resume and stuff in a small town, if there's 2 tattoo shops and 2 tattoo shops say no, then it's no. But there's more than like 4 tattoo shops in my neighborhood. In every neighborhood in Philly. So I just think that like you could shoot your shot better in a major city. Are you still thinking about getting your nose re-pierced? Sometimes. So yesterday I wore this outfit that was like kind of like secretary chic. And in my mind I was like, well, if your nose was all pierced up, it might conflict with like the look you're going for. But then I was just like, yeah, but I always used to do this look when I was like crazy right here. So I don't know. I have these like little conflictions with myself. I still want to get it done. I have some scarring on this nostril, and I was kind of thinking like, this company reached out to me, and they're laser facials company, and they reached out to me and they were like, we will give you 1 free service if you vlog the whole time. And sometimes companies will reach out to you with things that you wouldn't necessarily do in your normal life, but when someone presents it to you as free, you're like, that kind of sounds okay. I'm listening. Like, I've been presented with eyebrows if I wanted free microblading. I've been presented with free lip injections. I've been presented with free plastic surgery. I've been presented with and then this free laser treatment. And I was kind of like, well, I can get that laser facial and maybe it would like help with the scar I have. It's this side. So that's like kind of major. It like is right above the nostril piercing, so it's like, I was like, maybe I'll take them up on that laser offer. But I don't know. You get offered like a lot of crazy sponsorships sometimes that like you didn't even know you wanted until people offer them to you for free. And you're like, well, do I want Bluetooth headphones? I've been using the same headphones for 5 years and I like them, so do I even want this? So, I don't know. I don't even know if I'll do the laser thing. They had this thing, they offered me, I can pick from any of their services, and they offered me Cool Sculpt. And I was like, damn, Cool Sculpt. Sounds kind of cool. Maybe I'll do Cool Sculpt and just get my nose pierced. So, one more time, I want to announce that I am doing a giveaway. So, to enter the giveaway, you just have to make sure you are subscribed and leave a like. I hope to be doing more giveaways on these 5 Fact Friday shows. So, the giveaway is Qcknd stickers, a Bronco pin, and a Qcknd pin, which are not available otherwise. So if you want to enter the giveaway, you can just leave a comment with the best way to get a hold of you. If you don't have if you don't have any videos on your YouTube channel that I could leave a comment on to say that you won, or if you are like, you can leave a comment that what your Twitter handle is, if that's the easiest way to get a hold of you, your Instagram, so I can leave a comment on one of your photos. I hope to be doing a like raffle copter giveaway button for the future, so it's a little easier, so you can just like say that you're subscribed and then like do additional entries. I like when YouTubers do that. Yeah, I can contact through Instagram, whatever's easiest for you. And then my other announcement is if you leave a super chat comment, all of the super chat comments will be posted in the description each week of the Friday show. If you check the description of this video right now, you can see all the comments from my previous live stream, My Strange Addiction. So if you don't say anything in the super chat, it'll just be your name. But like you can see here, Thomas Maguire said, keep on keeping on. So you can leave whatever message you want in the super chat, and that will always be posted the next week. I've always done that, so you can go on any of my live streams previously and see what was said in the super chat as well. If you don't want to say anything, then nothing gets posted. So you can always leave a super chat comment. I believe super chat might just be on the browser if you're watching on your phone, but I believe it's on the phone too, if anyone in the comments can confirm. So this has been the first installment of 5 Fact Friday show. 5 Fact Friday show, if you missed the beginning, is kind of just my way. Let's just adjust this here. 5 Fact Friday show has kind of been a way for me to continue 5 Fact Friday, but make it a little bit more interactive. It's a lot easier for me to film live shows because I can just like shoot them here. I don't have to film them and compress them and edit them. And because of my newer YouTube schedule, this seems to be the best way to bring an additional video to you every week, instead of just the 1 to 2 video a week schedule I am previously on. So this is just a test to see if this is a format that works for you guys, that works for me. I want to make this a video series where I will take questions on Twitter or in the comments or from the super chats and take those comments and stuff and start the video with them. And then as the video progresses, take more like interact more with the sidebar, as well as talk about stories and stuff that maybe I wanted to like talk about on Twitter that week, but I want to like be on social media a little less. So this week, if you missed it, I wrote just like some little news things that I wanted to talk about, which was cool. And then I integrated those into this as well. That way it's like still interactive. It's still live. With my previous live streams, I usually come in with a message and then like work around that because they're like longer form videos. But I think some people felt like they weren't involved in my previous live stream. So I thought this would be a cool way. Like this week I was able to like read from the sidebar and talk about it. And I think everything everybody said was really cool and respectful. I think everyone was really respectful of one another. So this doesn't seem to be like a toxic haven, which was something I was worried about. So that seems cool. I think everybody's really into it. I also want this to be a platform where I can host giveaways. I have a lot of merch, and sometimes companies, when they reach out to me, they're like, we'd love to send you a product for a giveaway. And I'm always just like, well, I don't really do giveaways, so nah. So I think it would be cool to like be able to be a creator that can use their platform and give stuff to you guys. And like I said, I go to my P.O. box. So if I'm going to my P.O. box to pick up packages, it'd be cool to send packages out. Sometimes creators will send me packages to my P.O. box, and I think it would be cool to share that stuff. You know, my girl Qcknd Collective, she'll always send me goodies, so I think it'd be really cool to host giveaways with Qcknd Collective. Different like creators I really love as well. You know, it'd be cool to pick up the latest Michael Sweater comic and just grab 2 and host it for the giveaway. So I think that would be really cool. I would love to do that with you guys. And obviously, I always love a way to interact with like independent creators as well. So I think it would be cool. And I like the live format. And so yeah, for the giveaway, you can just like the video and subscribe. And additionally, if you don't have any content on your YouTube channel, and if you don't have YouTube messaging enabled, if you like and subscribe, also just leave your handle. So when I like, my subscribe is public. So when I check that way, it's just easier for me to get in contact with you. I had a previous giveaway where the person left their YouTube, but I couldn't message them from YouTube. So it was just like a huge headache. So just make it easier for me. Make yourself known. So that's what I want to do with Friday show. I'm a person who wants to create, and I'm not a person who resists YouTube. I am just a person who is always working through their feelings and what works for them and trial and error constantly. And I just feel like the more leniency I give myself, like if any of you saw my lookbook I posted this week, my lookbook was a product of somebody who had 3 days to make a video instead of 10 hours. So even though YouTube encourages us to make daily content and to burn ourselves out and like just suffer, I know that works to be famous, and I know that works to pay your bills and to get views. And for a while, that's what I was involved in, but I just don't want to burn out. I want to stay safe. There's a great article on Polygon right now. Came out last Thursday, so it might be kind of far behind, but it was like YouTubers are burning out. And the Polygon article directly mentioned that since YouTubers don't know black and white what the algorithm favors, all of us just make daily content that's over 10 minutes. So if you're making a video every day that's over 10 minutes of content and you have to edit every day, it's just like, when do you get to be you? So thank you. I also want to encourage anybody, if you find news articles and stuff during the week that you think are interesting and you want me to cover on here, definitely submit them to me on Twitter. I like covering stuff like that. I liked covering the Facebook news, and just like different things like that. So please do that for me if you want me to cover it. Someone sent me that Polygon article and it was dope. So I'm just super into it. I've been co-hosting an alternative radio show for about a year, and I'm so curious as how you are to speak in long, uninterrupted sentences because I struggle so terribly with it. Any tips? I think taking notes has been really helpful for me. That way I don't like lose track or get off on a tangent. I mean, I definitely get on the tangents, but when you can refer to your notes, you can kind of slip back in. I tend to repeat myself as a way to keep myself on track too. But I feel like if you keep reestablishing your points, it helps you from falling off. But I definitely don't have a method. Now that I'm out of water, I'm actually dying. But that was 5 Fact Friday show. Definitely leave a like if you were into it. Next Friday, I believe I will be free, so I would love to continue the Friday show. I don't want to make a separate Instagram for it just yet. I do want to maybe wait like a month or two to see how it's received and if we're interested in it. But definitely forward any news articles you want to pop up on here. You can always send me 5 Fact Friday submission questions. Every episode, I will be answering questions that were submitted to me. And then every week, I will also participate in the group chat. And then every week, these videos will be permanent on my YouTube channel if you missed the live show. All super chat comments will always be posted for the previous video in the description, so you can always check them out. You can do selfless promotion. You can say what's up. You can wish your friend happy birthday. I love you guys. I love the support. I really just want to stress that I am not taking a step away from YouTube. I'm just trying to find healthier habits so I don't feel like I am indulging in unhealthy behavior because of social media influence. Like I discussed in this live stream earlier, my accepting seeking behavior is really like off the wall because of social media and because so many things we post are attached to being able to be liked. I don't want to do anything now that people don't like. So working through healthy social media habits, I feel like this show can be a great way for me and maybe you guys as well to interact. I saw a couple people sharing